Good morning, friends. We are back again with another YouTube video, lure painting, baker builds thing, coffee drinking video. I've got something new I'm going to try. Once again, I keep trying new things with these videos. And let me answer this phone call. And that was just a telemarketer. So speaking of spam phone calls, what we're going to be doing today is using some junk mail. I went and checked the mail the other day, and this cashback match credit score for free. It has a super cool envelope on it. I mean, this thing is wicked looking. As soon as I saw it, I was like, boy, I gotta try to put that on a fishing lure. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I already made a little pattern, or a little stencil, to go on our lipless crankbait here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to try to get right in between where it goes from red to silver, or maybe I'll do all red. I don't know, I gotta think about that for a second, figure out which way I want the pattern to go. But what I'm thinking is it's going to be very similar to this stuff, and I've only done this on a couple fishing lures. But I mean, it works. This stuff just has a sticky back to it, so I'm going to get my spray glue and cut this pattern out. We'll glue the bad boy to there and then throw some paint on top of it. So let me get set up here to cut out the stencil, and then I will do some, I'll just speed it up since it's not really that exciting, but you guys can see how I do it. And then, cool, thanks for tuning in. So if you guys do this, don't do what I did. I put my stencil on the backside and wasn't paying attention. There's text on there. So I got this other piece. So maybe we'll see if we can get it squeezed on there. Maybe we'll just do it just like that. But it's got some of the glue still on the back. But I think it'll be alright. We'll probably get away with it. Alright, so I'm going to set that one off to the side, and then we're going to do this one again. Alright, there we go. Got them both cut out. This one also has a little bit of text on it, but I think we're going to be putting some black paint over that later, or red, so that'll be okay. It's not as bad as seed details inside, which might also be kind of funny to leave it on there, but I don't know. I like it being all this color, so this is what we're going to go with. I'm going to grab another sheet of something to lay down right here because I keep getting paint from the airbrush. Alright, so I'm going to do that. We're going to grab the spray glue, and then I think we're going to just glue it straight to the fishing lure. without putting a clear or a primer or anything on. I think it would probably stick better to this plastic than it would sticking to the paint. That way it's glued straight to it and then our paint can go to that. So I'm gonna get that stuff ready and then we'll be back shortly. Alright, so I got this laid down, and I also did that way when I put this spray glue on, it doesn't get all over my desk and be sticky the rest of the day. I'm pretty sure I'm only going to have one shot at this once I put the glue on and go to put these on, because this is really thin paper. So, you know, let's just do it. Here's the spray glue I'm using. I've had this stuff forever. It works great. It's acid free, multi-purpose. I wonder if they knew that I'd be gluing junk mail to a fishing lure whenever they put that on there. Probably shouldn't be angling that at my face. This stuff does stink, so I'm probably going to spray both of these and then peace out for a bit. Well, how about that? Alright. And once again, like we discussed last video, I always put way more than I need to. So we're gonna kind of let that tack up a little bit. And then here we go. But you know, having plenty of extra actually kind of a little forgiving, maybe. I don't know. That would let it slide around some. Whew, definitely messy. Push it forward a bit, bring it down there. So yeah, I think a nice in-between of a lot of glue and not very much glue. There's so much on there that it isn't really holding it down. But you know, at least there's at least it's not going to come off once it's dry. One thing I really didn't mean to do was get glue all over the gill plate, but I don't think the fishies will mind. Alright, well, since this is boring while I'm waiting for this to dry, we're just going to go ahead and cut to the next scene where both sides are glued on. On a side note, look at this dope coffee mug. My little sister gave this to me, so Zoe, if you're watching, thank you so much. This is my official lure painting coffee mug. Absolutely love it. Works great for holding things. See? Holds my X-Acto knife. So now if I'm trying to drink coffee and I need to cut something, perfect. Okie doke, here's what she looks like with both sides covered in the junk mail. I did spray less on the other side and it was much easier to stick it on. So, you know how that goes. But we're going to go ahead and start painting. I think what I'm going to do is do red all along the belly and then do black all along the top and kind of a mixture of the two on the gill plate. And we're going to do our best to not do any pearlized colors on this one. I think this design is going to be enough, and once that clear coat goes on, it's going to pop even more. I'm trying to decide if that camera angle is better or how I normally do it. I don't know, maybe we'll do this one this way and then you guys can tell me which one you like better, or I might decide when I'm editing it later. I don't know. Thinking. Alright, but we're going to go and start with the red. And we're going to do that all along the belly here. And I'm going to be using the opaque red. And since I didn't put any primer on this one, I'll do a couple coats of it. I don't mind it being a little transparent, but I don't want there to be a hard definition between where the envelope stops and the paint starts. And that's what I was worried about. I think if I ever do this again, I'm going to mask off where I don't want that glue to go. I didn't think that far ahead, but there's a little bit of texture from where the glue is. But I don't think a big hungry bass is going to mind. So we're going to do a couple coats on this. That way it gets nice and thick on there, and then I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here it is with the red all on it and dry. What I usually do when I put something or glue something to the side of it is I will do a clear coat of epoxy, and then I'll give it a light sanding and do another paint. Do another layer of paint. That way it kind of hides that seam. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. But the seam where the envelope stops and the lure starts, those are one of the things that bugs me, but it's probably not that important. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think, if that's worth dealing with or not. While I was sitting here waiting for it to dry, I decided that instead of doing the scale pattern, because I wasn't going to do a scale pattern at all, but I do think I'm going to use this comb and give it some real light black stripes that kind of come down the side of it. That way there's just a little bit more definition other than just red and black. I think it'll kind of tie it in more. Trying to make it not look like I glued a piece of an envelope to a fishing lure. Got to trick the fish, otherwise they'll know it's junk mail and they won't come near it. But you know what they say, one man's junk's another man's fishing lure. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. But if you've never used a comb before, I definitely recommend it. This one is perfect because you can do real thin stripes or bigger stripes. And I've done it on a bunch of fishing lures. I usually don't do it as like the sole design on there. I kind of just incorporate it into the background and it looks really cool. Let me grab this other lure and I'll show you. This was one of my swim bait fails, but it still looks cool. So see how this one's got the stripes going down it. It's just kind of built into it. It really gives it cool definition. This was one of my swim baits I was trying to make. I used banner material in between. And in theory it looks really cool because it has so much movement to it, but it's just too stiff to actually swim in the water. So now it's just a desk piece and it looks neat. But okay, quit talking, move on to painting. All I'm going to do is hold the comb on. I'm just basically going where the gill plate ends. Going to go down as far as I can and just spray along the top. One thing I have noticed is you don't want to spray down in here because then oh, you can't really see that, sorry. If I'm holding it like this, I don't want to spray down in here because then the lines will just stop and go into black. So I'm only going to spray like in this midsection up towards the top. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And you can kind of see it. Just real lightly. Nothing crazy. Alright, flipping it over, we'll do the same thing on the other side. And do make sure you don't do the thin on the other side on accident. Done that before. It looks just as funny as it may sound. Whoops. So yep, barely even there, but it'll look cool later. Alright, we're going to go ahead and spray the whole back of this black. And then we'll probably spray some around the eyes or up on the face. I'm kind of thinking we'll spray a little bit right where that starts, right where the envelope starts. That way it's not a solid cut off. That looks pretty cool though. I'm actually thinking we might carry that down along the gill plate too. Just kind of hides that seam. Alright, I'm going to hit it with the hairdryer, build up a couple layers of paint to make sure it's nice and covered. And then we'll be back here in a second to pick out what color of eyes we're going to do on this one. Alright, so digging through all my eyes I have, and I think we're going to use these ones right here. It looks like there's a little bit of blue in them. Or no, maybe we'll use the black ones. And yeah, let's go with black. And I finally got my super glue back. And I'm popular. dab of glue. Try and get it centered in there. We'll let that dry up, and then we will switch to the other side, do the same thing, and we'll be back here in a second. Alright, so here we go. We got both eyes put in on both sides. I think it turned out really cool. I cannot wait to get the clear coat on, and like I said, I'm going to do one coat of clear coat, go back, kind of sand it, roughen it up so my paint will stick, and then spray some more just along the edges to hide that seam. I just think it makes it look a lot better when there's not a hard line anywhere, because there's no hard line on a real fish. Not that this looks like a real fish, but it looks really cool, so we might as well do the best that we can with it. So we'll be back whenever it's all dry, and then like always we'll do those little cool shots of it spinning around circles. Welp. That could have gone better. We had some issues during the clear coating, guys. Nevertheless, here's what she looks like. During the clear coating process, I managed to drop it, get dust all over it, and just had issues with it drying. I don't know what went wrong. A number of things went wrong. But I figured since that's probably the only envelope I'll be getting, we might as well go and show you guys what it looks like. When I went back to do the second coat like I was talking about after the first coat of clear coat, that's when I got dust all over it, and I was trying to wipe it off, and I wiped off some of my black paint that I sprayed on. But you know what? That's alright. Mistakes happen. I wish it wasn't on this lure, but oh well. Anyways, here's what she looks like. I think it was really cool. I was also thinking that I know there's a lot of wrapping paper that has these cool three-dimensional designs, so I might take a look next time at the old Walmart and see if they have any wrapping paper like that, because I think it would definitely be worth trying again. So yeah, it's not the best clear coating job I've ever done, but that's okay. The paint's still protected now at this point, and I think I'll just add this one to my personal collection. And I'm sure it'll still catch some fish. It's just not a beautiful showpiece like I was hoping for. But you know, that's alright. It was still fun making it, and that's all that matters, right? So, anyways, thank you guys so much for checking it out, and we'll see you next time with another video.